Hello everyone, SirMonkeySuit Zappy here, back again with Hunter x Hunter. We're on episode 83, and in the last episode, we have now reached the point where our crew now has basically come across the Chimera ants and everything like that, and now they're in sort of full attack mode, which I love, and I am expecting some great fights going forward. But yeah, so in the last episode we had Gon, who now used one of his extra sort of abilities. I believe it's his transmuter one, right? Is the scissors. So that was cool with the sword and whatnot. We also had Killua, who basically went into assassin mode, dispatched that weird mosquito fucking dragonfly lady with ease. Let's put it like that. And that was great. And then, of course, Kite. There was no way that Yuja guy ever had a chance. Considering it was one of the weapons that he claimed was bad luck, he still managed to take that guy out no problem. So, you know, Kite is definitely my favourite mentor. I mean, I've said before that, you know, there was something about him when we first met him. I was like, I feel like I'm going to like this guy. And I do. So, yeah. Other than that, I don't really think there's anything else. Oh, yeah. The Rabot guy, right? He now has a surging amount of aura coming out of him right now. And yeah, I believe he's probably going to go crazy. I believe he's going to go out on his own, because I don't think he's really going to be wanting to take orders from Cold anymore. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that. I don't really think there's anything else to really talk about. Yeah, so we're just going to get in episode 83 and see what we get. So without further ado, let's go. Okay, episode 83, and once again, Kite is absolutely incredible and demonstrates his amazing prowess, considering the fact that once again he's used a weapon that he calls bad luck. I'm beginning to think that every single weapon that he's able to pull out of there, he calls bad luck, because it's something to do with the whole thing of, oh fuck's sake, I'm going to forget the word. I'm not going to. I have forgotten the word. The similar thing to the Sword of Law, man. The contract thing, right? It's got to be something to do with that, surely. Because I just feel like I feel like there's nothing that has come out where he's been like, oh yes. I just wonder if it's just a case of he's just thinking along the lines of what is best for the situation that they're in right now. And to be honest, I don't think there could have been, at least from the weapons that we've seen so far, I don't think there could have been a weapon that suited that situation more than that. You know? Because I don't think Kite... Well, I don't know. Kite has had this thing as well where he doesn't really like having to kill things, I believe, like the animals and stuff. And he does have that whole thing of like you know, hunters have this sort of affinity with sort of creatures and animals. And I don't know if I don't know if Chimera ants really fit into that category or not. Because they're sort of an advanced species, and they kind of like have their own thoughts, kind of like humans are. So I don't know if it really fits into there. So I don't think like Kite was thinking like, oh, I will honor the 1v1 thing, you know, and he managed to take them all out. And I don't think they killed them off either, did they? I mean, the Toad guy might have, because it got his head, but the other ones, I don't think so, right? I don't think they have time, because like they were saying, they have to take out the queen before the king comes around, and that's a whole thing I'll get into as well. But so yeah, I mean, I guess I'll just talk about that. So the Toad did remember his death from beforehand when he was eaten the first time round, and then turned into that thing. I can't believe that guy. I can't believe he has glasses. They're like this big. It's like you're not seeing through those. Just chuck them away. You know what I mean? They're just clearly getting in the way. But yeah, the Kite's scythe, that's incredible. I think it was like what, Grim Reaper Death or something like that that it was called. That was awesome. So yeah, Pockle is still alive and he's in the storeroom. I still don't understand the reason why they would. I haven't been given a reason as to why they would keep something alive. You know, I don't really see the benefit in that from their point of view, unless unless the queen doesn't know about that. But I don't know. I don't know to what degree the hive mind actually works. Whether it's like just talking through there and that's how you get your information, or that they can see everything. Because I feel like Yunju and like when he was in the super facility, never really. I mean, we never saw it, but I don't think he went out and mentioned, "Oh, I'm staying here." I mean, he might have done, but I feel like the lion guy, he sort of already knew that Yunju was there. So I figured that was just like a thought process that just kind of went around the hive mind, so everybody knew about it. I don't know. Though there has been times where, when we first had the squadron leader meeting and the chameleon guy came out, Cold had asked where Thingy was, where there was another guy. Well, it might have been Yunju actually. Yeah, like where's Yunju gone? So I suppose like it can't be just a like they can't tell what everyone else is doing. It would have to be said out loud. So I guess in that case, then the only real logical thing I can gather is they would be keeping the information away from the queen that they have Pockle in there. I just don't, because otherwise I don't understand why they would keep him alive. He's not going to get any more nutritious as time goes on, is he? Unless they've got some sort of like, I don't know, like fucking like process in order for that to be the case. But then I don't know why they wouldn't do that with them. I did notice before actually that in a previous episode that where the queen was, there was like balls of things, and it didn't look like they were actual life forms, like more than just like meatballs, you know. So I wonder if that could be a process and what's happening there, which increases some sort of nutritional value. I don't know, but it is strange. And it seems like Colt is wanting to get him out of the storeroom for some reason. I believe it's possible that it's for research purposes, because Cold wants to do anything that she possibly can to help out the queen. Right now, if they all had the whole thing that Ramot's going through now, and it is Ramot. For some reason, I kept saying Ramot because, I mean, you guys might not have even realised. It might have just sounded like I was saying Ramot, but with a cold. But yeah. It must be for research purposes, and somehow because he seems to think that the catalyst was the attack that he got, and I never thought of that. Because if they have aura anyway, right, then I thought it was just a case of like, because Ramot was going insane, like he was that fucking angry. I just figured that it would just, like, that's just what the case was. You know what I mean? Like they overly, like when you're overly emoting something, like, I don't know. I thought that would have been the catalyst and not really the attack. I guess though, if we're talking about, because the title of the episode's like inspiration to evolve, so I guess it's talking about the evolution and the fact that they do like evolve really fucking like ridiculously quick. So I guess the idea is that it's not only the birthing process that allows them to evolve quick into a different type of sort of a mix of creatures or whatever, but also the things that they experience while they're alive. So I suppose getting an attack, if that is the case, then I suppose the attack is what the catalyst was the attack then. You know? Because it's like over time in real life, you have species that evolve over millions of years to adjust to the climate, or, you know, the situational, you know, basically wherever they are in the world. An animal and a creature will will get like a lot of different. I'm absolutely just losing my thought process here. Basically, you have the likes of polar bears and stuff like that, right? They gain fur and everything like that when they're in the winter cold, you know. So basically, what I'm trying to say is, I wonder if it's like that for the Chimera ants, but it's literally because they evolve so fast, like it's almost practically instantaneous. relative to it. So getting an attack from Gon and Killua with Nen, it's sort of like it's sort of just giving them it back to suit the situation that they're in right now, because they're about to be attacked by Gon and Killua and Kite and whatnot. But that could be the case. But I guess that's only with the sort of theory of evolution and the fact that they evolve quickly that could be the case. So I'm thinking, yeah, that may be it. So yeah, I did write down in the very beginning there that because I didn't really go into it at the end of the last episode, where Killua's assassin mode is still like far better than his use of Nen right now. It's just it's obviously more physical as well, as opposed to like a transmuter, you know. So because transmuting is not like as sort of up close and personal and physical as what like an enhancer would be, for example, you know. So yeah, it's great to see him sort of just bring that out, you know. But he's what we noticed there when he was fighting that rhino guy was that he was using them in tandem with each other, which is great, you know. He probably used the assassin, like his, you know, he hardened his nails and whatnot to try to get into his heart, like he did with the Hunter exam, which was it was great to see that come back. But obviously he's struggling to get through the exoskeleton. Then from just because he's so fast, it's great. But he's, you know, basically attacking the same spot over and over again until it collapses, and then he can get his way through. Because then it becomes a weak spot in the sort of a chink in the armor, so to speak. So yeah, that was cool. We got the sort of hierarchy that what happens. The Queen starts off. Then there is the Royal Guard, which I don't think she has at the moment. She's still birthing them, right? Because I haven't seen they haven't been mentioned since the end of that one episode where it was like, you're going to be the King's Royal Guard. But before that happens, they need to be birthed first, right? Because they need to go under the Queen. But at this rate, at the rate of how fast this is actually going, I feel like it's just going to be the case where the King is born and then the Royal Guards are automatically there. Because I haven't seen the Royal Guards yet. So yeah, and then it's the squadron leaders under that, so the likes of Colt and whatnot, and then the captains under those, which is like Ramot and things, and then you've got the grunts underneath, which are the ones that just basically can't speak. Yeah, and they're just like not as advanced. And then once the King is born, the Royal Guard moves over to there. Squadron leaders go up, and then the Queen basically takes on a sort of directive role of just like dishing out orders and stuff. I guess after that, is it a case of as long as she can? I guess it basically becomes the birthing process doesn't really become a priority anymore, or as much of a priority. But I guess she still does, you know. And then the King goes out, mates with different organisms. And then the process starts all over again, and then it's just expansion from there, right? So that's well. Here's the thing, then. What happened to the King that clearly mated with somebody that Queen is then? Because there had to be a beginning thing, right? Here we go, the chicken or the egg debate. You know, eventually it would have to go back to one. I've got to assume that the King just died, right? But here's the thing: could one King theoretically just keep mating with other? You know, because then that like, according to how their expanse would be, it's the Queen that keeps giving birth to the kings, and then they go out, right? But theoretically, what would stop a king from mating with multiple? Like, just keep on mating, you know? Because then that would be even faster. And we don't know if this is the only queen around here. I mean, I feel like it because even in the NGL, where communication from there is pretty weak, they've managed to figure out that that's what's happening from there. If it was happening anywhere else, I'm sure it would be like picked up immediately. So I have this has got to be the only queen right now then. But in which case, I just have a feeling like where's the what happened to the king then? You know, I don't know. I really don't know. Okay, so anyway, they are also sending a force, which they are calling the Punitive Force, which I thought was an interesting one because I figured, would it not make more sense for it to be called the Impunitive Force? Because if you like, because punity is punishment, right? But they've clearly said that like this isn't for punishment. Like this is extermination. So wouldn't it make more sense to call it the Impunitive Force and just kill them with impunity or attack them with impunity, which means there is no chance for punishment. You know what I mean? It's quite interesting because that sort of mirrors what was happening with Gon, and that also takes us into, well, first of all, I'll basically say I think the Punitive Force. I think Netero is a part of that, right? Because they're obviously calling him. So that's cool that we're bringing Netero back because yeah, I kind of want to see him like because we only saw like a little bit of his like, sort of what he's capable of when he was God and Killua were trying to get the ball from him, right, on like that blimp. So it'd be nice to see him like actually involved in a fight. That'd be cool. But yeah, back to the whole thing of like it kind of mirrors like the whole punishment sort of thing that they were doing, like, the Punitive Force, whatever. That kind of mirrors what was happening with Gon, the whole thing of like. And I mean, I said this a few episodes ago. Like, I don't want to say Gon have any sympathy towards these fucking things. I want him to kill them all, right? And he starts off by giving them. And at first, I never even really thought about it until Kite himself was thinking about it. Because I was just thinking of, oh, it's badass. Like, are you sure you don't want to surrender? But then now thinking about it, it's like, no, Gon, don't be doing this, right? Don't be doing it. And then. When he took care of that one, the Sancho dude, the Rhino guy came in, called him trash, right? And then Gon like had this thing of like where he was pissed off about it. Now, he sort of was talking to Kite after the whole ordeal had finished, and he basically said that like, oh yeah, I have no time for, bugs that call their own kind trash or something like that. And I was just wondering, like, is that really what he thinks, or is he just like he doesn't? I don't want him to have any real sympathy or empathy for these fucking things. I really don't. And it seems like Kite has also got like the same sort of. He's sort of thinking the same way about it when he's saying, it's agitatingly slow, like it's a slow start for Gon. Even though they both like they're sort of they are more adept in fighting as soon as they get into fighting, like that's when like their prowess actually, they're at their best when they're in fight mode. So when there's like a lot on the line or whatever, and when he's saying like it's an agitatingly slow start, I think I know what he means. Like Gon never really got into full gear until the Sancho guy basically said, we do this for fun, right? And it's like, I don't want him to be this guy. I don't want Gon to be this guy that has to. I just feel like maybe he's sympathizing too much, giving them the option for surrender, and then like basically the thing would be like, oh well, you promised never to eat another human again. Well, it's like. You would never trust that thing to keep a promise. A promise means fuck all to the person that would end up getting eaten by that thing, even though he promised to keep it, right? Keep the promise. It's good. I just feel like it's going to catch up to him at some point. He's going to do something that it's going to end up being his fault, and I feel like it's coming. I really do. I feel like something bad, really bad, is going to happen, and Gon is going to be at fault, and I'm going to fucking rip into him. I'm going to fucking destroy him as a character but I don't want to. I don't. All right. I don't want. I'm gonna every time he does it, I'm gonna pick up on it. I'm gonna be like, no, stop it. Just fucking kill them. I don't care. Going. All right. I mean, Kite even picked up on the whole thing. It's like, well, what if one of them was like trying to literally save a comrade? Like, you know, what would he do then? I can't be having this going. I can't be having it. Just don't do this. So yeah, the Kite was also saying as well that they don't have unity and they want to take advantage of that as well. It's of course it's been the whole, you know, it's been sort of like the background story thing that's been developing with the Chimera ants as their sort of their independence, and that they don't have the unity that, you know, normal ants or whatever would have. And yeah, I just taking advantage of that. I wonder how Kite is going to do that, really. I mean, I almost feel like when Kite was like, this is perfect, like, I was wondering Kite was probably thinking, we're going to have to fight all these in just, you know, all at once. Then the Toad came in, offered one-on-one fights, which is crazy. I mean, I guess at that point it's just for their pride, their own pride of taking them down, I guess. I don't know what else it could be, you know? Because I thought it was odd that they would even go so far as to do the whole one-on-one fight thing. But I guess it allows time for the lion guy to get there. Hagia, or whatever the hell his name is. And then, you know, obviously weaken them over time, and then easy pickings for them, right? But yeah, taking advantage of it, I wonder. I don't know if... See, I don't think it would ever be a case of him using Chimera ants against each other. Well, no, he probably would. Actually, he would probably do it, but not like, you know, like not like have a conversation with one of them and be like, oh, why don't you join us? It wouldn't be like that. It would be try to get infighting maybe among them, and then Kite and the group can sort of go and take care of, like, you know, it's less to take care of, because they'll be taking care of each other, and yeah, it's just more efficient that way. So I guess that would probably be the way he would do it. Although I don't know how he would go around. I'll go about doing that. But yeah. Interesting. Anyway. Right. Well, that is all I've got. So thank you everyone for watching. In the description below I have links to certain things. One of them is the Discord, so you can get stuff over there. And I also have a Patreon page as well. So if you do want to support me on Patreon, that'd be very much appreciated. There is, of course, a bunch of different tiers and rewards. There is early access there, $5 a month. Gives you access to shows a week early. And you get 4 episodes of Hunter x Hunter every week. So, well, as opposed to the usual 2 that the general public gets. So... by the time this episode comes out on YouTube for the general public, you could go over to my Patreon, become an early access tier patron, and you probably have access to the rest of the show. So you've got a lot there. There's also the full length as well, which is $10 a month. That doesn't really matter for this show because this one's full length anyway, but the other shows you will need that. And then there's other tiers at the top there where you can pay to have certain shows reacted to. So if you do want that, then go there, have a look. But that is all I've got. So thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.